like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
In Are You Sure? Episodes 5 and 6, the atmosphere quietly changes. Not in a way that demands attention, not with dramatic music or carefully framed moments, but in a way that feels almost accidental. As if the closeness unfolding between Jimin and Jungkook was never meant to be highlighted, only witnessed. By the time evening arrives in episode 5, the energy of the day has worn them down. The laughter, the movement, the endless small moments that fill their time together finally give way to exhaustion. It's a comfortable kind of tiredness, the kind that settles into your bones after a day spent fully present. When they step into their shared room, the noise fades. The world narrows. What remains is just the two of them. They share the same bed. There is no announcement, no reaction shot meant to surprise the audience. It happens quietly, naturally, like a decision already made long before the camera ever arrived. Jimin moves first, slipping under the covers with an ease that suggests familiarity. Jungkook follows soon after, casual and unguarded, his movements relaxed. Their shoulders brush. Neither of them pulls away. Instead, Jungkook shifts closer, adjusting the blanket so it covers them both. Jimin doesn't flinch. He doesn't hesitate. His body language remains open, comfortable, as though this proximity is not new, not unusual, just another part of being together. The lighting is soft, almost dim. Shadows blur the edges of the room, creating a sense of privacy despite the presence of cameras. Jimin turns slightly on his side, facing Jungkook. His expression is calm, his breathing slow. Jungkook lies on his back for a moment, staring at the ceiling, before turning toward Jimin as well. The space between them shrinks, not through touch, but through intention. Their breaths fall into rhythm. Sleeping beside someone is one of the most intimate things you can do. It means surrendering control, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, unfiltered, unaware. And the way Jimin and Jungkook settle into that space speaks volumes. There is no tension in their bodies, no sign of discomfort. Only ease, only trust. Jungkook's arm rests close to Jimin's, not quite touching, yet close enough that warmth can be felt. Jimin doesn't move away. He never does. As night deepens, the room grows quieter. Their voices fade. The world outside seems distant. In that stillness, they look less like idols filming content and more like two people who have shared countless nights like this before, nights that never needed an audience. Episode 6 begins with morning arriving gently. There is no alarm to jolt them awake. Light filters in slowly, brushing across their faces. Jungkook wakes first, eyes blinking open as if reality needs a moment to return. For a second, he looks lost. Then his gaze shifts, landing on Jimin beside him. Something changes. His expression softens, the confusion melting into familiarity. There is a quiet relief there. A small, almost imperceptible smile forms, as though he's reminded exactly where he is, and exactly who he's with. Jimin stirs not long after, hair messy, eyes still heavy with sleep. When he opens them and meets Jungkook's gaze, there's no surprise. Only warmth. No words are exchanged. None are needed. They stay like that for a moment, lying side by side, suspended in the quiet space between waking and starting the day. Jungkook stretches slowly, mindful of Jimin's presence. Jimin watches him, eyes gentle, lips curved in a faint smile. It's not a dramatic scene. It's something better. It's real. As they finally rise, their movements remain unhurried. Jungkook waits without realizing he's waiting. Jimin adjusts his pace to match Jungkook's without comment. Their closeness carries into the rest of the day, not loudly, not obviously, but persistently. Later, there's a moment so small it could easily be missed. Jungkook looks around the room, brow furrowing slightly. "Where's Jimin?" he asks, casual and instinctive. Not loud. Not urgent. Just natural. When Jimin appears, Jungkook's shoulders relax. Jimin smiles, soft and knowing, as if he understands the weight of that simple question. Throughout episodes 5 and 6, their intimacy reveals itself in patterns. Jungkook gravitating toward Jimin when he laughs. Jimin leaning subtly into Jungkook's space during quiet moments. The way silence between them feels full, not empty. At night, when they return to the same bed once again, it feels even more natural than before. There is laughter under the covers, low and unguarded. The blankets shift. Voices drop to murmurs. The cameras capture only fragments, but the feeling lingers long after. What makes these moments unforgettable is not their intensity, but their honesty. This is not romance designed for a storyline. This is intimacy shaped by time. In Are You Sure? Episodes 5 and 6, Jimin and Jungkook don't explain their closeness. They don't define it. They simply live inside it, sharing sleep, sharing mornings, sharing quiet spaces that feel safe enough to be unguarded. Because sometimes, love doesn't arrive in confessions. Sometimes, it exists in who you choose to rest beside. Who you wake up next to. Who you look for without thinking. And in those quiet hours, when the lights dim and the world finally slows, Jimin and Jungkook feel less like performers and more like two souls who have long found comfort in each other. And perhaps that is why these episodes stay with us. Because what we witnessed wasn't spectacle. It was closeness. It was trust. It was something deeply human. As the days continue in Are You Sure? The closeness between Jimin and Jungkook no longer feels like a moment. It feels like a constant. Something steady. Something that doesn't need to announce itself to be real. In episode 6, their interactions grow even quieter, even more instinctive. There's a comfort that only comes from familiarity so deep it no longer requires effort. Jungkook reaches for things without looking, already knowing Jimin will be there. Jimin anticipates Jungkook's needs before they're spoken, moving beside him with an ease that feels almost subconscious. When they sit together, the distance between them is minimal. Knees brushing, shoulders touching. Not for the camera, never for the camera, but because that's simply where they naturally end up. Jungkook laughs loudly, freely, and Jimin responds with that soft smile that only appears around him. The kind of smile that doesn't ask to be seen, but is impossible to miss. There's a moment when Jungkook grows quiet, staring off into nothing. Jimin notices immediately. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't ask what's wrong. He just shifts closer, presence steady, grounding. Jungkook exhales, tension easing from his shoulders. Whatever weight he was carrying seems lighter now, shared, even if unspoken. That is the language they speak. Later, as night returns once more, the routine repeats itself. Same room. Same bed. This time, there is even less hesitation, if any at all. Jungkook flops down first, tired and unfiltered, pulling the blanket over himself with a laugh. Jimin follows, settling in beside him, adjusting the covers so they're even. They talk quietly this time. Not about anything important. Not about the future or the past. Just small things. Random thoughts. Half-finished sentences that don't need conclusions. Their voices are low, intimate, meant only for each other. Eventually, the conversation fades. Jungkook turns onto his side, facing Jimin. Jimin mirrors the movement without thinking. The space between them is minimal now, close enough to feel each other's warmth, close enough to sense every shift of breath. Jungkook's eyes linger on Jimin's face, relaxed, unguarded. Jimin meets his gaze, calm and steady. Neither of them looks away. Sleep comes slowly, gently, like a shared agreement. In the morning, they wake tangled in the aftermath of rest, blankets twisted, hair messy, expression soft. Jungkook is the first to speak, voice still heavy with sleep. Jimin hums in response, eyes barely open. It's not conversation. It's comfort. As they get up and start the day, the closeness doesn't fade, it simply changes form. Jungkook drapes an arm over Jimin's shoulder without realizing it. Jimin leans in without comment. Their laughter fills the space between them, light and unforced. What makes these episodes linger in the hearts of viewers isn't what happens, it's how it feels. Because what we're seeing isn't staged intimacy. It's lived-in closeness. Jimin and Jungkook move like two people who have learned each other's rhythms over years, who know when to speak and when to stay silent, who understand that love doesn't always need expression, it often lives in consistency. In Are You Sure? Episodes 5 and 6, the most romantic moments are the quietest ones. The shared bed, the unhurried mornings, the way Jungkook looks for Jimin without thinking, the way Jimin stays, always stays. And maybe that's why it resonates so deeply. Because beneath the laughter, beneath the travel and the content and the cameras, there is something undeniably human unfolding. Two people finding rest in each other, choosing proximity, choosing presence. When the world slows, when the lights dim, when the noise fades, Jimin and Jungkook are already there. Together,